Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Samantha Leighanne and I talk about books. Today we're just going to do a quick video. This is going to be a quick challenge update. For those of you who are returning to my channel, you know that I posted my 2017 reading goals. I will go ahead and put an info card up top for you if you wish to check that out. But for the year of 2017, I made a commitment. Well, I made several different commitments. So now that we are through the month of January and I have gotten a really good start on the year in terms of reading, I kind of wanted to recap what those challenges look like. I have also already completed my January wrap up. I will also link that above if you so desire to watch that. If you haven't already, I read a total of 11 books in the month of January. So I'm not going to talk about each of those books specifically. I'm just going to talk about the different challenges that I am participating in, or the goals that I set for myself, and how the books that I read met those requirements. So first thing that we are going to start with is the actual number goal that I set for myself. So I set a goal for the year on Goodreads of 75 books. Whenever you average that out, it averages to about 6 books a month. There's a couple months that it would need to be a little bit more, but 6 books a month I felt like was very doable. So I already said that I read 11 books in the month of January, so we can already tell that I am trending way ahead in terms of that. It's also the beginning of February and I've already finished 1 book and I am in the middle of 2 more. So I do not foresee me actually meeting that reading goal as of right now to be an issue. So we are on track for our general reading goal, so that is awesome. So the next thing that I wanted to do in the year 2017 is read more classics. In the past, I have kind of avoided classics because they're a little bit intimidating, and sometimes the language and things like that can be a little bit intimidating, but I really wanted to make a commitment to, read more classics for this year. So in the month of January, I read what I would consider 3 classics, and those are A Clockwork Orange by Anthony Burgess, Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston, and Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. All 3 of those earned very high ratings for me, so if I set a goal to just read at least 1 classic a month, and this month I'd read 3, I would say that I am definitely meeting that requirement. The next challenge that I'm going to talk about is the Retro Rereads Challenge. So the next challenge that I'm going to talk about is the Retro Rereads Challenge. I will link the information for that down below, but basically what it is you choose 12 books throughout the year to reread 1 a month, so that you're not dedicating too much of your TBR to rereads. This month I chose to reread Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe, so this ended up meeting several different requirements for me, so that was really great. So I have completed that challenge as well. So the next challenge that we're going to talk about is Diversity Bingo 2017. This is the big challenge. This is the one that's going to take the entire year to complete. Basically, this challenge is a giant bingo board of 36 squares. Each square represents a different theme or diverse character or something along those lines, so that you can read more diversely throughout the year. This is a goal that I set for myself because I noticed that I had been reading a lot of the same types of books by a lot of the same authors, and I really felt like I was doing myself a disservice. So enter this challenge. For this month, I think that with the 36 squares, I think whenever I calculated it out, that I had to read at least 3 books a month and fill 3 squares in order to get through all of them in the entire year. So for the month of January, I actually filled up 4 different squares. So that is super awesome. For each of the squares, I have, and I'll put a graphic of the actual board with the filled in squares and everything if it's a little bit hard to see which books are which. I have, for the square, Romance with a Trans Main Character. I read If I Was Your Girl by Meredith Russo. I very much enjoyed this book. It was an excellent read. I highly recommend it. You can check out my January wrap up if you want to hear more about that book. And same goes for all the rest of these as well. The next square that I filled in was book by an author of color. So once again, for that, I ended up using Things Fall Apart. The next square that I filled in was a person of color on the cover. And for that, I read Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. And the last category that I filled in was an immigrant or refugee main character. And for that, I read The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. So you can see that I still have tons of squares that I need to fill in for this challenge. I am definitely looking forward to fill them in. I put myself on a book buying ban with the exception of books that are going to be included in this particular challenge, and I had actually already purchased a couple for this challenge, but they were books that I was actually looking for to specifically meet some of these squares. So for example, I just purchased a couple of different books that will fulfill the requirements for non-binary main character, one with a West Asian setting, an indigenous main character, and a contemporary world arranged marriage. So I definitely had a lot of really awesome upcoming books for these particular squares, so I'm really excited to get to those. So that was the challenge update for January. I will be doing these monthly. Like I said, all of the information for the challenges that I had mentioned will be linked in the down bar below for you to check out if you so desire, because you know, you can jump into these at any time, especially the Diversity Reads Challenge. If you have read any of the books that I mentioned, comment down below, let me know, let's talk about them. Or if you are also completing in the Diversity Reads Challenge, definitely get at me on Twitter or comment down below what are some of the books that you're reading, because there's a couple of squares that I'm kind of struggling to find some books for. So I would definitely love to connect with you guys so that we can discuss books that will fit those categories. As always, if you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you have not already. And thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!